The Midnight Library of Wonders. Arya loved reading more than anything in the world. Every night, she sat by her window with a lantern. But one evening, her favorite book glowed strangely. The pages fluttered like wings in a silent breeze. Suddenly, words lifted off the paper like fireflies. They formed a shining path across her bedroom floor. Arya followed, her heart racing with excitement. The glowing path led to her wardrobe's back wall. A hidden door appeared, carved with golden letters. It read, "Only dreamers may enter the library." Arya touched it gently, and the door creaked open. Inside was a staircase made of floating books. Each book flapped like a bird guiding her steps. She stepped in, holding her breath with wonder. At the bottom was a grand library of stars. Shelves stretched endlessly, glowing in rainbow hues. Books whispered softly, like they were alive. Ladders floated, sliding by themselves gracefully. In the center, a clock glowed midnight blue. Its hands ticked without sound, frozen at midnight. Arya realized she had found the Midnight Library. A librarian appeared, with silver hair and kind eyes. He introduced himself as Alden, keeper of forgotten stories. "Every book here holds a story never told," he said. "They are waiting for dreamers like you to awaken them." He handed her a glowing key made of crystal. "This key will unlock one book every night." Arya smiled, trembling with joy and curiosity. Her first unlocked book opened with golden sparks. She was pulled straight into its world of magic. Mountains of candy stretched across the horizon. Dragons with jellybean wings flew playfully overhead. Arya laughed as she rode a caramel river. Everything felt alive and welcoming to her presence. It was like stepping into a living dream. But Alden warned, not all stories are kind. Some books were restless, filled with darker secrets. Arya's lantern glowed, guiding her away from shadows. She tiptoed past shelves, humming with mystery. A crimson book pulsed like a beating heart. Its whispers called her name again and again. She hesitated, feeling both fear and temptation. Curiosity won, and she touched the crimson cover. Instantly, she was pulled into a stormy world. Dark forests stretched endlessly under a blood-red sky. Strange shadows slithered across the trees, whispering her name. Her lantern flickered weakly against the darkness, but she stood tall, determined not to fear. She remembered Alden's warning about restless tales. A boy appeared, trapped inside a cage of thorns. "Please help me. I'm a lost story," he cried. His name was Kian, a hero forgotten by time. Arya cut the thorns with her glowing key. The forest howled as the shadows grew angry. Kian grabbed her hand, ready to run. Together, they dashed toward the fading light. They reached a tower guarded by smoky beasts. Each beast had glowing eyes and shifting forms. Kian whispered, "They are the censors of memory. They erase stories that the world forgets." Arya's lantern shone brightly, scattering the shadows. The tower door creaked open just in time. Inside, a staircase spiraled into glowing clouds. At the top, a giant book floated in chains. It was the Book of Lost Heroes. Kian explained that he belonged inside its pages, but the censors had stolen his ending. Without it, his story would remain incomplete. Arya's crystal key began to glow brightly. She raised it toward the chained book. The chains shattered with a burst of light. Pages fluttered open, glowing with golden fire. Kian's name appeared, written in shining ink. His story unfolded, filling the book with hope. The censors screamed and dissolved into nothingness. The crimson sky turned into dawn-colored light. Kian smiled, finally free to live again. The world collapsed into glowing sparks of paper. Arya and Kian were pulled back into the library. Alden stood waiting with a proud smile. "You have restored a forgotten hero," he said. "Not all dreamers have your courage, Arya." Her lantern glowed brighter than ever before. She felt proud but also deeply curious. Night after night, she unlocked new stories. Some worlds were silly, full of laughter and fun. She danced with musical animals under a rainbow sky. She raced on starry highways with comet chariots. She painted the moon with magical brushes of light. Every adventure tested her heart and her bravery, but every ending left her stronger than before. One night, Alden gave her a challenge. Tonight you must face the library's deepest secret. He handed her a black key shimmering with silver. It pulsed like it carried a heartbeat inside. This will unlock the vault of forgotten truths. Arya felt nervous, but also thrilled to try. She knew her greatest adventure was about to begin. The vault's door was covered in glowing runes. The black key fit perfectly, clicking with power. Inside was a spiral staircase of shadow and light. At the bottom stood a mirror of stars. It whispered, "Every dreamer must face themselves." Arya stepped forward, her lantern steady and bright. Her reflection began to move on its own. Her mirror self looked darker. Filled with doubt, it sneered. "You are too small to matter. You are just a girl who hides in books." The words stung like sharp arrows in her chest. But Arya lifted her lantern higher, unafraid. She said, "Stories make me strong and real." The mirror cracked with a thunderous sound. From the shards, a shadow beast emerged. It was built from all her fears combined. Tall, black, with glowing red eyes of fire. The room shook as it roared angrily. But Arya remembered Kian's bravery and her journeys. She whispered, "I am not alone anymore." The lantern burst into golden flames of courage. The beast tried to swallow her in darkness, but the golden flames shielded her like wings. Arya held her ground, fearless and steady. "Every story gives me strength," she declared loudly. The shadow began shrinking into smoke and dust. Her reflection returned, now smiling peacefully at her. The mirror faded, leaving only shining starlight. Alden appeared, clapping gently with pride. "You have passed the library's greatest test," he said. "The bravest battles are always fought inside us." Arya bowed respectfully, holding her glowing lantern. The midnight library hummed with newfound energy. Shelves glowed brighter, stories coming back to life. Her courage had awakened the entire place. Kian returned, now part of the library's guardians. He thanked Arya for giving him back his story. "You reminded me that heroes live in every heart." Together, they walked through aisles of glowing tales. Each book whispered their gratitude softly in her ears. Arya realized she was now part of something bigger. The library itself had accepted her as a guardian. Her lantern transformed into a radiant book. Its cover was blank, waiting to be written. Alden smiled. "This is your story, Arya. Every dreamer writes their own book of courage." Arya opened it and saw glowing blank pages. Her adventures appeared as golden letters, one by one. She had become a story worth telling. But Alden gave one final instruction. "Share what you've learned beyond these shelves. Stories live best when they inspire others." Arya nodded, understanding the responsibility she carried. The library's doors opened, glowing with morning light. It was time to return to her world. But this time, she wasn't just a reader. Back in her room, the lantern book lay glowing. Arya hugged it close to her chest. She looked out her window at the rising sun. The world outside seemed brighter than ever before. Every bird, cloud, and tree felt magical. She knew the Midnight Library was still watching, and it would always guide her path forward. At school, she began sharing stories with friends. She taught them how courage grows through imagination. Her stories made even shy kids believe in themselves. Laughter, curiosity, and kindness spread like wildfire. Her book filled with glowing new pages every day. She realized the library was alive through her. Arya had become a true keeper of stories. That night, the clock struck midnight once more. The glowing path returned across her bedroom floor. But Arya didn't feel nervous anymore. She felt ready for endless adventures ahead. The Midnight Library of Wonders would always be with her. She was a guardian, a storyteller, a hero. Sparkle's moral: true courage is not the absence of fear, but the strength to face it.